honestly, like similar to 2020, I had this mental crisis of that was the lowest mental state I think I've ever been in. I think that has helped me be successful in that I have had to make things on my own and be independent. It may be my flaw or my superpower, but once I think of something, I'm gonna do it.
Love it.
I found it in Jesus.
So Becky, tell me about the Little Sprout Spot and how it started, why you started it, how you came up with the name. I'm curious.
Yeah, so I have a 2-year-old daughter, newly stay-at-home mom. I was working in the beginning, and once I started staying home with her, I just found I had nowhere to go with her that me and her both would enjoy.
Yeah.
Because, the park, and you can only go to Target 8 a.m. so many times.
Right.
So her genuinely was the biggest inspiration, is somewhere where a caregiver can bring their little ones and they can both enjoy it and get something out of it. The Little Sprout Spot kind of just came about of kind of just thinking about ideas, and just I really wanted to reflect that it was somewhere where about blooming where you're planted.
Yeah.
And it's funny because as, a boss babe, like that was kind of like one of my worst fears, is being like stuck, like being rooted. But it is a beautiful thing that, where you're at, it's your season of life and you can bloom where you're at.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a business before that?
I didn't. So it's kind of crazy that I've never been a business owner until I became a mom. So, kind of did it all at once. But I came from a retail background and retail management. So that's kind of my biggest thing, is I've ran a big box business. Mm-hmm. So I figure if I can do it that way, maybe I can do it myself.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people have been talking about it lately. I've seen it pop up in places and different people going there. So it's 0 to 4, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, 0 to 4. That was really important for me too, just for a space that is just especially for that younger age, because it is hard to find somewhere that babies can freely roam, that they can have that space where you're not hovering and you're not worried about them getting hurt. And then also too, it's been really great to see how moms can interact with each other because they know that babies are roaming around and they're in a safe spot, as opposed to like the park or maybe like a bigger space.
Center. Yeah, because there's a couple different bigger places, but I feel like my kids are now, they're 4 and almost 6, so they're kind of out of that. But when they were littler, I remember taking them places and there'd be like these huge 8 to 10-year-old kids there, and I'm like, they're gonna stampede over my 2-year-old.
Yeah.
So I brought my son in there, and it was nice. He could just sit. He was like in awe of all the other kids. Third kid problems. He's never been to anything like that. So he just sat there and was like, I mean, literally, I've never seen him sit that long. But he could put like things in his mouth, and, you sanitize, you said, pretty regularly.
Yeah. So I really, that's another thing too, is my model, I really wanted to base it on that I can operate it myself. I mean, Eloise does help me, but she's as much as a help of a 2-year-old is going to be.
She's like, I'm part owner.
Yeah, exactly. She's my receptionist, didn't let anybody in, so, we're still working on it. But I really wanted to make it where I can, I have my kid with me, so of course I'm going to treat it like it's my home, and that every little one that comes in there, they're going to be as safe as we can make it, and clean, sanitize. My husband used to work for a custodial company, so he was able to help me with like the tricks of the trade and all the right good things, because I wanted to make sure we were really sanitizing the right way.
Yeah. All right. And then what are the hours? Are you guys open on the weekends, or is it during the week?
Yeah, we're open on the weekend. It was really important for me. Like I said, I've done stay-at-home mom, I've done working mom. So I really wanted to be some times where both can enjoy the space. So we're open Tuesday through Friday, 8 to 12 and 3 to 6. We close in the afternoon, so I can do all the things. Yeah, I say siesta and sanitation.
Nice.
And then on
both
the
very important.
Yes, very equally important. And on the weekends we're open 8 to 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does your husband come in on the weekends with you?
He sometimes does.
Okay.
But that has actually been a huge blessing. It's kind of like my break, and I know like it's not supposed to be our break.
Yeah.
But work sometimes is. So.
There are times where I go to work and I'm like, okay, I'm driving in silence and I'm not even going to turn the radio on. It's really nice that it's quiet.
Yes, just to be able to, get ready, go in your car and be responsible for just yourself.
Yeah.
Is something just so like good for my brain and everything.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. Because we're moms, but we're also human beings. We're, wives,
Yes.
We're women. We want, business owners. We wear many hats. So it's nice to get those breaks for sure.
Yes, most definitely.
Okay, so you kind of mentioned your family. Tell me a little bit more about them and then how you guys wound up here in Chattanooga.
Yeah, so my husband and I, my husband's name is Eric, and we got married in 2020.
Okay.
It's kind of a funny story. We were supposed to elope in Ireland and have, because we were gonna do a ceremony, and then it was just so overwhelming. We're like, let's just do this.
Yeah.
Let's do our money, put it all together.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, let's go on a vacation. But of course that didn't happen with 2020 and all of the craziness. But we just kind of, honestly, like similar to 2020, I had this mental crisis of that was the lowest mental state I think I've ever been in, and I just really I knew I needed a change.
Yeah.
So, being newly married and thinking about starting a family and just looking around our environment, I'm just like, we've got to go. We grew up in this area, but it's time to move.
It's California, correct?
California, yes.
Yeah.
So we're from I like to call it like an industrial desert, because when you say Southern California, you think of beaches.
Beach, yeah.
But definitely.
You're inland then.
Yeah, we were much more inland. But it's so nice to be in Chattanooga where there's seasons and there's trees. I think everybody makes fun of me that I can't stop talking about the trees here.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
To be around just life.
Yeah, it's really green.
Coming from the desert.
Because, I'm from Colorado, and people are always like, oh, mountains, but Colorado is flat. There's it's kind of a desert, not desert, but like plains. When you go further out, it's flat. Real flat. There's not even really hills. And then you hit the mountains and they're huge. They're bigger than the mountains here. The mountains here are not mountains, they're hills.
Yeah.
But everybody when I moved here was like, oh, well, you have Colorado, the mountains, but the trees there look like they're holding on for dear life. Like they don't get enough water. And they get some snow, and I miss the snow for sure, but it's not hilly like here. And so the trees and the greenery is beautiful. I love living here too.
Yes,
so.
we don't miss it a bit. I do miss Mexican food.
Yes,
I will say.
Chattanooga has some improving to do.
Yes, maybe that will be another business venture. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go.
It will not.
No.
but we love it here, absolutely.
Okay.
And then honestly, as soon as we moved, so. We kind of made the decision within like maybe 3 months. We packed everything, sold our house, and moved. And then within a month, I found out I was pregnant.
Oh, fun.
So I got all the major life changes
all in one. Yeah, I
Why
kind of did it similar. We moved, came here. This was the last stop on our honeymoon, and we wanted to move from Denver. Kind of saying we needed a change, and moved, got married, and had a baby all within a year. So, yeah.
That's how you do it, just all together, knock it out.
But then they didn't have, when I first moved here, I really struggled with making friends, mom friends, because when you're pregnant, no one tells you how to make mom friends. And when you're pregnant, it's weird because you're not, especially if you're not around people who are pregnant too and don't have those friends from back home. Yeah. And none of my friends back home were even having kids yet. It's kind of awkward because you're like, I don't want to go hang out with these moms because I'm just pregnant. And so I feel like it's huge once you have the baby to have those spaces to go, like the little sprout spot that you can meet, people in a similar stage or further along that have advice. So there's not a whole lot, I feel like, for 0 to 4, especially in Hixson. You're in a really good spot. So I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I do really see of how isolating early motherhood is because they're little babies, so they need so much from us.
Yeah.
And just even the schedule alone, or just like all of the things.
If there is a schedule.
Yeah, if there is one, and let alone like working and doing all the other things still. So It's really cool to see the connections that are being made, and I'm hearing moms like exchange phone numbers.
It's cute.
And it's just
warming, heartwarming.
It's very cool to see.
Yeah. So your business is fairly new. What do you hope to accomplish with the Little Sprout Spot over the next, let's say, 5 years?
So most immediately, definitely still building our foundation. My big goal is to have that brand recognition, that everyone knows what the Little Sprout Spot is and what we stand for, and just become that pillar in the community of that's where you take your babies when you're 0 to 4. Hey, we took Big Brother when he was little, now it's your turn kind of deal. That's definitely like my dream right now, is to just continue building that base. And then honestly too, just continuing building our membership base and getting more of a following, and then of course scaling. Maybe a big Sprout Spot one day.
I was gonna ask that, because I mean your daughter is 2, so when she graduates from, obviously kids start preschool and kindergarten around that age, so that might be the problem solved. But a big Sprout Spot, I like the name.
Most definitely. Maybe we'll play around with it a little bit. But yes, big Sprout Spot will maybe be the 5-year plan.
Okay, very cool. Okay, so what would you say are your biggest strengths when it comes to raising your family and owning a business?
Well, I think when you become a parent, it already is the hardest thing in the world. So anything else is going to be simple in comparison. Raising a human, I can do anything.
It's a lot. Not for the weak of heart.
It's a little bit of an accomplishment, to say the least. But honestly, I've always been just an executor, type A, like boss babe to the core.
Love it.
I think that has helped me be successful, in that I have had to make things on my own and be independent and drive my own results, that it's helped me already be in that mindset of self-sufficient and to fully realize a goal. But also just of having a support system, of course, is so important. I
guess on the flip side, what would you say are some challenges? Have you run into any challenges? I know it's pretty new, but have you run into any challenges so far?
Yes, but you know what though? It's so empowering. Because it's empowering / humbling. Because I have been so self-sufficient, it was very much of, how you want it executed and when you want it executed. But now as a mom, I'm on someone else's time, whether I like it or not. So it is a challenge. It has been to slow me down a lot. But it's actually probably a blessing, because it helps me not overwhelm myself. And I can really effectively execute the way I want to. So it kind of just keeps it all going in the right direction.
My kids are helping me learn to go with the flow, which I feel like is huge as a parent and as a business owner too. But how huge though for your daughter to witness, like coming to work with you every day, and she's literally the reason behond why you're doing all this, but she gets to later on in life she's gonna just it's incredible. I feel like she's gonna look back and be like, my mom's a badass. That's amazing.
I hope so.
She will. We bring our kids here all the time, and it's chaos. If you went upstairs, they literally got I have toys up there, and literally everything is out. There's light bright pieces everywhere, all over the floor, crayons everywhere, food. They found all the snacks, and we were down here setting this up, and it's just, it's why not involve them in it when it's part of your life? I've tried to separate and compartmentalize my life with my kids and my business, and it's just not possible, honestly. But this is the stage that we're in, and also starting a business, because it's like sometimes I did stay home for a few years, and I did like it, but it was lonely, and so I wanted something a little bit more for me, honestly. And so I feel like, I'm not doing it for them, I'm doing it for me, but I involve them in it, and I think that they'll see that, and same with your daughter, and really appreciate that when they look back, or get that business owner mindset, and maybe they'll have a business when they're older. Right.
It is like how you said, to bring them along with you, because I don't know if there's just me growing up of how I was raised, or just our current culture. Like I felt that once I had kids, my life was going to be over. Or just being very more career driven. Like I've always so focused on my career development that I'll be honest, I didn't think about having kids until I met my husband. I didn't see babies in my future. So to have my 2-year-old with me starting a business, oh my gosh, like if I told 2016 Becky this, I wouldn't believe me.
Laugh at you.
I'd laugh. I'd be like, what? So it is. It's cool to just bring them along because you're showing them such healthy things, you know,
and the work side and that, and they're watching you work hard and you know, hopefully they'll learn to appreciate that work ethic.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes.
All right. Well, does your family is back in California?
Yes, all of our friends and family are in California. So so similar to you, when we moved out here, we were alone.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we've had some grandparents come out to visit.
Yeah.
We'll go out visit once a year, but like I said, we don't miss it at all.
Yeah.
Except our friends and family.
Yeah,
I wish
that's
I
how
could
I am.
pack everybody up and bring them out here. And I know once they come and see it, they probably will come out.
Yeah.
But yeah. So and that's the thing too of just building moving to a new city and being in the midst of being pregnant, then in the newborn phase, and then it's very lonely trying to make friends and find your communities.
Yeah. How long did it take for the business, I guess, to come into fruition? Like, did you have this thought immediately when you had your daughter? Was she a baby when you kind of started the process? Or I guess how long did it take from like, here's the thought to, you know, cutting the ribbon, opening the doors?
So it may be my my flaw or my superpower, but once I think of something, I'm going to do it.
Love it.
So honestly, it's probably, I could say it's been years in the making of my experience in the past and just of what has led me to this moment. But truly, I think like opening an indoor playground for 0 to 4 really just came about within like 6 months. Of not to like make it sound like simple, but I read this book. Okay. And it kind of changed my life.
What's it called?
It's called Born Rich.
Okay.
And it taught me.
I haven't read that.
It's a small read. It's by Bob Proctor, and he's a very like you know, about like your frequencies and like, and essentially the lesson is like God gives you everything that you need to be successful. Okay. And you just have to channel it and let go and let God. Yeah. And it will work out. And that was the hardest thing for me to do because, you know. It's hard to let go. Yeah, it's hard to let go. But I really found that if I did that and just trust in the process and already kind of walked in that I am a business owner and I know what I'm doing, even though I'm not, it will work out. So here I am.
I love that. So 6 months with your daughter, and you just, I guess, what was the process to get to where you opened the doors? Was it finding the space or registering the license? Did it all kind of come together at once?
Yeah. So I got lucky with a really great realtor that showed me some spaces, and it was funny because the space that we ended up in wasn't even on the list of showings for that day. But I was telling her kind of like my vision when we were meeting with Eloise. And she's like, you know what? I have the perfect spot now that you're kind of telling me. And we went to go see it, and it was just such a perfect location. Yeah. And then I did really feel like if it's meant to be, it's time. Yeah. So it was kind of like a little bit of business research. I learned a lot on YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube University.
You can't sleep on YouTube. You can learn anything.
Yes, absolutely.
So everything's self-taught. You know, just Google and YouTube. That's my small business owner manual right there.
Love it.
But I found the space, and then I was lucky enough where the landlord remodeled a little bit. It used to be an office space. Oh, okay. So the whole space was just cubicles. Yeah.
It's next to like a pet place,
which is cool.
And then there's a realtor. There's actually, I think, a Keller Williams or something.
It was Keller Williams. Okay. So now what's exciting is that we're all new neighbors.
Oh,
we all moved in at the same time.
That is.
So it's Rise Church is next door, and then I have it's some sort of district office. I always get the name confused with which hardware place it is. And then Chattagroomer is around the corner.
Oh my gosh, I love how people use, I saw like Chatta-neuter. People love using the Chatta.
It's
Chatta word, yeah.
And you know what, too? It has been really great. Like, they've been great neighbors.
Yeah, it's cool you guys kind of all got in there at the same time,
yes,
you know?
Yeah.
There wasn't some like grumpy old person who was like, get these kids out of here. That's cool. Well, I guess as far as, so the holidays are coming up. You weren't open last holiday season. So what does this holiday season look like for the Little Sprout Spot?
Yeah, honestly, we're so excited for these coming winter months.
Yeah.
We're already seeing a little bit of pickup in traffic
I
with
bet.
the colder weather.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of fun new things for winter planned, kind of what we've done similarly in the last seasons of some winter sensory bins planned and a pajama party and just similar what we've been doing, a holiday interactive story time.
Yeah.
Just kind of making some family moments and keeping it within the holiday spirit.
Yeah.
And excited to see what these next couple months are going to be. I
Yeah.
think they're going to be pretty nuts.
Yeah, so absolutely.
So we're excited.
Yeah. And then for membership, so how does one become a member?
Yeah.
And then what does, I guess, pricing look like to come in?
Yeah. So we're $12 for a drop-in
Okay.
per child. And if you have a baby sibling who's 0 to 3, they come in free.
Nice.
And our membership's $28.77 for up to 2 kids.
Cool.
And it's for the child too. So grandma, grandpa, mom, dad can bring them.
Nice.
And I don't limit on adults either right now, just
Yeah.
because it's bringing the family along.
Yeah.
And it's unlimited drop-ins with the membership. You don't have to book ahead of time.
Okay.
You kind of have the leisure of being able to succumb to the chaos
Yeah.
and just come when you can make it and not plan ahead as much.
Yeah.
And all kinds of new fun things coming too with some more member-only events.
Nice.
In the next coming months too.
And you do birthday parties?
Yes, we just started doing birthday parties.
Fun.
They've been really fun. I've been super blessed with some great moms. My first mom that did it with me, she was amazing, like the most
I think I met her maybe when I was in there. She had a little boy and a girl. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're doing birthday parties, which is also cool to offer from 0 to 4 and kind of make it more about them.
Totally.
Too. Yeah.
Not a lot of, indoor party places are hard to find, and a lot of them are really expensive. And it's like 0 to 4, especially 0 to 2, the party's more for the parents. You know,
Right.
The kids don't remember a whole lot. My daughters are both November, so I've like pushed them together. I'm like, we're doing a joint party.
Yeah.
But yeah, indoor places are hard to find, I feel like. So that's huge.
Yeah.
And
and me staying home, obviously, like everyone else, you take a financial cut. You know? So I wanted to make it where it's affordable for families.
Yeah.
I looked at it and said, like, what would I pay? Like, what can we
but
pay?
stay competitive with other businesses. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw you were at Capacity the other day. That's really cool. Has that happened before?
No, it
Okay.
had not happened before. So it was super fun, and it's awesome to see the space full and a bunch of just the chaos and babies just running around.
Yeah.
So.
Any baby fights?
Not yet, but toddler fights.
Okay, toddler fights, I guess. Yes. Toddlers are more rambunctious.
Yes.
A little more territorial.
Yes. I'm very, it's funny to see my 2-year-old play differently with babies and with the 4-year-old.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Because I have to remind her she doesn't have to fight with the 1-year-old.
Yeah.
They'll be fine.
Yeah, I think you'll win.
Yeah, exactly. You can be gentle. It's okay.
That's probably cool to see, though. And I think you're right, like the heartwarmingness of moms making connections and like their kids meeting, and they can kind of grow up together.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
That's special.
Yeah.
So you worked in retail. You worked at Target for how many years?
For 10 years.
Okay.
And then most recently I worked for Dollar General as a district manager.
Which one did you like better?
Oh gosh. It's so different. But you know what, though? I did love my district manager role with Dollar General because it was so cool to be out of a building and just extend my reach, because I had, I think, like 21, 22 stores.
Wow.
So it's a lot of...
in California?
In Dollar General was all in Knoxville area.
Okay.
And then...
so that was when you were here.
That was when I was here,
cool.
Yeah. So I actually, I started off, I did the internship with Target, and I worked my way up to store manager in California. And then, honestly, I was just kind of, okay, we need something different. A new change. So I kind of just, there was one night where I just applied to jobs all night. Just, I need something new.
Yeah.
And then I found Dollar General in Chattanooga.
Cool.
Like, Chattanooga sounds like a fun name.
Yeah.
Let's look into this place. I've been to Nashville. I loved it.
Yeah.
So, and once I moved out here, my area was like Knoxville.
Yeah.
So
a lot of Dollar Generals out here.
Yes, a lot of Dollar Generals. Every 4 miles.
Do they have them in California?
They don't. Well, they have a few. It's not. It's very few and far between.
And they kind of redid their branding. I feel like, didn't they? Like the whole logo is now GG.
Yeah. Yes. Very modern. Very. Every 4 miles.
Were you a part of that? The like change of the branding at all?
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
No. Maybe it was the comment card they finally read once I left. Yeah. I don't know. But when I moved out here, I was actually commuting. So it was funny looking on the map. Chattanooga and Knoxville doesn't look that far.
It's a little far.
It's a little far.
I'd rather do that drive though than Atlanta.
And and a blessing in disguise too, because once I moved, I found out I was pregnant.
Yeah.
So driving 4 hours a day wasn't too terrible because at least I'm sitting. But I had the Knoxville area, kind of all the way up towards Sevierville, a chunk of stores, and then I went on my maternity leave and came back for a few months, and then I had like a North Georgia area.
Oh, okay.
So a little bit closer to home, which was amazing how it worked out that I wasn't driving 2 hours with a newborn.
Yeah.
So it worked out great, but.
So you brought her with you?
No.
No.
We had Mimi stay with us.
Oh, okay, nice.
My husband's mom helped a lot in those early months, and then plans changed, and postpartum was pretty rough.
That's
being
a lot.
A working mom.
Yeah, and you're new to being a mom, and you're new to the state, and that's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just a couple months. My last day with Dollar General, I think, was like Christmas, like the day before Christmas.
Okay, so almost there.
Yeah, and honestly, that was the first Christmas I got to celebrate not working in retail in like 13 years.
Yeah,
so that
excited.
It was beautiful.
Yeah,
it was very much. I felt like it was very much earned.
Yeah. And I was saying this earlier, but I feel like working in retail or working in a restaurant, it introduces you to a lot of walks of life and different types of people, and kind of exposes you to, well, not everybody is nice, but it's good to learn because you learn those lessons. So I'm sure that will help along the way as your business grows. You get introduced to a lot of different people, and a lot of them are amazing, and they're kind of why I feel like people stick with it, but a lot of them are not. So I feel like it's good to have that exposure to thicken your skin a little bit and know like what your ground that you stand on too, as a business owner and as just a person.
Yes, absolutely. And too, if I can survive the crazy coupon lady, I can survive anybody.
Oh boy.
But also too, like you learn that honestly people just need to be heard.
Yeah.
Most of the time, people just want to be heard, and same, right? Or they're just having a bad day, and you're just the person with the wrong, like the company shirt on, so you don't have an identity, and they can just take it out on you. Yeah. But like everyone.
Sometimes you got to play that role.
Yep. And then
just let them yell and just stand there and take it, and you're like, yep, I understand. It's kind of like having a toddler, honestly. They just yell at you, and they don't make any sense.
Customer service has definitely prepared me to have a toddler.
Oh, I bet.
De-escalation.
Yes.
All the things.
All the tools in the toolbox that you can use for kids. What advice would you give to yourself 10 years ago, before you had kids and before starting a business?
It can be, it probably sounds a little controversial. And like I said, if I told me 10 years ago, I'd probably give the biggest eye roll. Yeah. But, I think I've always been set on doing things myself. And then we're taught that we can do anything we put our mind to, which is very healthy, and it's great for aspiration. But also that you can't do it by yourself. Yeah. And I think that was something I really needed to learn. And that was some of the advice, is that you can't do it on your own.
Right.
You do need, I found it in Jesus. I found that, that was the only source of peace, of joy, of a strong foundation that I can really lean on. Yeah. And for me to say that is a big deal, because I really have felt like I had to be self-sufficient. Yeah. But that's the biggest advice, is that like you can accomplish all the things, but you can't do it on your own. Yeah. And I really truly believe that every mom needs Jesus.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how you survive it.
Yeah.
Otherwise.
Or a support system, or just people you can lean on. And I know a lot of people find that through church, and people find it through groups and stuff that they join, because you need that community. I mean, it's huge in motherhood, in owning a business. I mean, I say like network as much as you can, but even network as a parent, you know, you got to have those people that you can go to and talk to, that, you know, you have these thoughts going through your head and you're like, nobody else is thinking this, and they are. There's other people out there who are going through the same thing, or thinking the same way, and they're in the same walks of life, and it's the same thing as business too. You know, I've talked to a lot of people who are in the same year in business, or earlier starting out, or later on, and they've all kind of seen the same struggles, and so it's huge to have that, to just go and not even always just talk about business or like network to try to gain more business. It's just like a support system to like vent with somebody, you know, in a similar, because I mean, I can vent to my husband all, you know, all day. He doesn't love it, but he's kind of likes to problem solve, and sometimes I'm like, man, I just want to like
listen to me.
I just want you to like listen, and he wants to solve the problem, which sometimes I want to solve the problem, but sometimes you just want to like chat and just get it off your chest, and know that someone else is going through it too, and have that validation. So I feel like that's great advice. I like that a lot.
It's funny because my husband had to ask me, like, why do you have to say what's going wrong? I'm like, because I have to say it out loud for just the acknowledgement, like, hey, this is an S show, right? This sucks. Yeah. And then you'd be like, yeah, this does suck. Okay, but we got it. Let's go.
Because sometimes if you hold it in, I feel like then it like boils over. Yes. When my daughter was 2, my oldest daughter was like 2.5. Maybe she was 3. Instead of saying what's going on, she'd go, what's going wrong? She reminded me of that. So I must have said it a lot.
That's a little bit, like pretty accurate.
Yeah, she's like, what's going wrong? She'd come in the room, what's going wrong? And I'm like, everything. Chaos. That's funny. Yeah, I like that. That's really good advice. So for the Little Sprout, any upcoming events? I know we talked about the holidays a little bit, but anything of note for early next year?
Yeah, honestly, this is our first winter season, so just kind of playing around with different activities, and we're going to continue to offer just those family bonding activities. Yeah. And also looking forward to offering more members-only events as we get some more time scheduled.
Okay, amazing. Well, where can we find you online?
Yeah, we're on socials. We're on Instagram at The Little Sprout Spot, and on Facebook. And we also have our website, thelittlesproutsspot.com. Okay,
and then they're located Ashland Terrace and Hixson Pike, correct?
Right across from the Walmart neighborhood market.
Yep. Okay. Well, do you have any questions for me? Anything else you want to say?
No, I just wanted to thank you. Yes. And again, it's important to have like-minded, just strong women around you. Yeah. Because that's how we get better.
Yeah, we got to build each other up.
Build each other up. Yes. Absolutely.
Yes.
Because you're not on your own.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for coming on.
Thank you.